19510s.
Is that what they're doing right now?
Oh, they were. I mean, I responded to drug calls down in off of Forum Drive. I went down there, just did a regular patrol, and they ended up flagging me down. Can you imagine that?
Excuse me.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, well, there he is. There's Captain
Yeah.
Slacks.
I'm going on a food run for the guests.
Yes, I need some, please.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
she's on it.
four meals? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
Yes,
meals.
5
Okay, I'll be
meals.
right back.
Yeah,
Thank
Hey,
you so
this
much.
this is the podcast guy, Slacks.
Hello, officer.
Howdy, sir. How are you?
Hello, Captain. Sorry.
Howdy.
All good. All good. Very good.
What is your name?
Excited to Johnny Paps.
Echo 23, CMC.
Okay. And a podcast, huh?
Yes, sir. We you know, just want to give voice to the people, everybody that's making waves in the city, and make sure that everybody's heard.
Is something wrong, Flex?
No. I just I didn't expect a podcast. That's all.
Oh,
What you mean? This is a podcast, bro. All right, come on. Let's get to it then. Let's get the show on the road, right? Let's get the bide on the road, right?
Absolutely. I'm ready.
Anyone else, or
I'm ready.
Are we ready to rock?
No, it's just me on the chair itself. Is just me and Slacks. Brian, if you want, you can come in on this too. It's up
Yeah,
to you, but
I mean, I'll tag it if necessary. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
be thinking
yeah,
about some
okay.
food.
okay. Which chair you want, Slacks?
Doesn't matter. Whatever you. Listen,
Hey, I can. Let me call you right back, Jackpot. Right.
Oh, poor guy.
Listen, if this is
Oh my God. Hold on.
this is
Yo.
some sort of setup, I'm ready for it.
I said it.
No?
No, sir. No, sir. We're just having.
Oh, why the fuck would I?
Echo 2376, latest 911
No.
buttons.
I have no idea. I didn't talk to him at all. Oh, well, lucky I didn't. So why'd you ask me then if you knew that wasn't the case? Yeah. No, I haven't. Okay. All right. I'll call you back. All right, bye. All right, let's get this show on the road. Go ahead. You do the whole intro thing if you want. Yeah, go.
Just make sure everybody's
fuck, my
nice
leg.
and loud.
Yeah, of course.
And
All right, I'm good.
yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back from that sponsor break. We are now joined by. Sorry. Before we start,
Do the whole
so
intro.
can-
Do the from the top. From the whole thing from the top.
from the top. All right. Officer, can you or Captain, can you tell me your full name, please? Just hear it one time.
It would be my pleasure. Captain Slacks.
Captain Slacks, absolutely. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, sorry. Let me just hit that. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Popstalk. Thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you to all the sponsors, and thank you to Mr. Ramee, our guest today. We are also now joined by Captain Slacks, and there's a second wind to this episode of the podcast. So we're gonna hit that intro one more time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for sticking around. Here we go.
Oh shit! Yeah!
Captain Slacks, we've already heard from Ramee earlier today. It is tradition around here to have the guest kind of introduce themselves to the listeners. It's more personal that way. So, Captain Slacks, in your own words, who are you?
Well, I'm a nobody. You know, I'm an asshole from home.
He's got to speak up.
And an asshole from home. Can you dive a little deeper into that? Not into the asshole, but what is the meaning behind that?
No, that was just my humor. I'm just a man who's trying to make a difference in the city. Somebody who's trying to build a police department to help make sure that law and order is always thriving within Los Santos. That's my mission. That's my goal.
Absolutely. And for one, I think the law and order in Los Santos and the law enforcers in general are an unsung hero here. As I was talking to Mr. Ramee earlier, the lawyers are as well. And Mr. Ramee here told us that Captain Slacks, you are somebody that he works closely with. Can you tell us a little bit about you guys' relationship in general?
Absolutely. Mr. Ramee and I, we go way back. There's a lot of history. There's a lot of
Wait,
back
what?
and forth, a lot of conversations. In fact, I was the first person to hand him an L in court. But that was important because that conflict brought us closer.
Wait.
Me and him going at it in court was something that helped our relationship, and I got a better understanding of who he is as a lawyer, and he got a better understanding of who I am as a cop.
Now, for not for me, because I'm hip as AF, as they say. But for all the boomers that are listening, what is hand, him, and L? What does that entail?
There was a bench trial where he allegedly ran over an EMS. Mr. Ramee believed he was innocent. There was enough statements and witnesses to believe otherwise. There was a bench trial where he was found guilty of assault and battery.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Is that Mr. Ramee? Is there anything you want to comment on that specific situation there?
Yeah, he. I don't think Leo here is aware of what's actually been going on in the world of litigation. I mean, have you heard, Pops?
No, I have not.
Really? We got breaking news.
Breaking news here. There's actually been an appeal that's been successfully won on that. So that L has now turned into a W, Mr. Leo. And I believe a new case law is going to be put into effect tonight over here in the streets of Los Santos.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. And law put into effect tonight as
That's
we
right.
record this.
That's a W, though.
Right, that's a W. Now it's called the hit and Ramee. I mean, you have it on your notes, right?
Yeah.
Pops?
So this is one of the things we did a lot of research, and we have a lot of information that I would love to dive into. But so, Captain Slacks, what is it like losing the appeal on that court case for the hit and Ramee?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Sometimes you try your best to find the truth, and unfortunately, you might think you have it right, but turns out you don't, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in that. Here in the LSPD, we care, right? It's not about being righteous. It's about doing the right thing.
Classic high road. Classic.
Speaking of the right thing, I also speaking about all the research that we've done. I wanted to ask you about how difficult it is for you to pick up your phone. There seems to be a lot of information that we've had that picking up your phone might be an issue for you. Is that something that is due to your busy schedule? Or
Oh my God,
that's an odd question.
Wow, I'm sorry. Who asked that question? Pops?
Yeah, I would love to know from
there
all
was
of you.
let me look at my notes here. There's 17 different people that asked that question.
What?
17.
Oh
Well,
my
listen,
God, that is crazy.
I just
Wow.
don't like to talk about my personal life because there's a lot going on. There's a lot happening as far as my life, but I am very busy. I am wearing many hats. I do respond to a lot of calls. So to all the folks that don't pick up the phone from, I apologize. I'm really sorry in advance. It's just the life I live.
Is that excuse my crassness, but is that the reason you tend to look into things but not actually do anything about it? That's another one of those polls
that is not my motto. No.
Oh, okay, all right. Because I'm just reading off my notes, right?
I like to follow up. I like to follow up for sure. I don't like things. I don't like things hanging like that. I like to follow through. My police work is not about half-assing things. It's about full measures all the way.
All right. Well, this is a great segue into talking a little bit about something that's much bigger than us. I mean, we've all been through a pandemic, and one of the things that was brought to my attention doing research for the podcast in general was the pandemic that the EMS ERP pandemic that's happening on the podcast, and we wanted to get
What?
your there I don't know if you know this, Ramee, but there is an EMS ERP pandemic at the hospital.
Oh my God.
And we just wanted Captain Slack's kind of take on it. Captain Slack, is there anything you can add to that?
What is
You
happening?
know, I heard rumors about that.
Really? Do tell,
Yeah.
please.
I mean, you don't remember the interrogation you had on me, Slacks? That is insane. Huh.
Yeah, if you could maybe explain more about that.
Yeah,
'cause
actually, now that I remember, you tried covering that up. That's right here, ladies and gentlemen. There was a cover up here. I was gonna get interrogated by Leo Slacks, and he seemed to quickly brush under the rug the current ERP pandemic that's going on at the hospital. Seems like he's a little bit suspect. Is that right, Paps?
Is I'd love to hear Captain Slack's take on it. Is there a reason that Mr. Ramee here might be saying you're brushing things under the rug?
I'm not sure where these accusations are coming from. I've seen nothing but pure professionalism from the EMS. I've had
Job.
nothing but exquisite
Thank you for
and
the 16
fantastic
months.
talks with them. I've never seen such behavior of, ERP or anything erotic of nature when I'm talking to them. So I think these are just things I'm not seeing, so I can't really make a comment on them today.
So Captain Slacks, just in general, having been, you say false accusations. Is that something that happens often in your line of work, or is this a shock to you right now?
Yeah, I mean, this happens. Sometimes people lose themselves. They're not sure exactly where they are, and they make mistakes, or stupid fucking mistakes can happen. That can
Sounds
happen
like we have a
easily.
pandemic liar on our hands, isn't that right? Sorry, just kidding. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead. Sorry.
I kind of wanted to, as a podcast host, I kind of get a lot of slack, no pun intended. I talk for a living, so I say some things here and there that might, fall upon some ears that might be a little more vulnerable than others. We'll start with Ramee. Is there something that you guys have had in terms of an interaction with each other, some friction, some disputes you've had that we're allowed to highlight here today on the episode?
No, actually, Leo and I have gotten along very well. It's actually the other captains that I don't get along with. I get along with Leo. I mean, I get along with the other captains, but there was some friction there, in the department. But no, Leo and I, we've been A-okay. Pretty square, isn't that right, Leo?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, there's more you want to talk about, Leo. I mean, we're here on the podcast.
Yeah. No, there's definitely no friction. Everything is good. It's rainbows and sunshine everywhere. That's how I see it.
Okay, hell yeah.
And Captain Slacks, we asked Ramee before you joined us about his relationship with the PD and just how integral of a part that he plays to the justice system. I wanted to get your input on this as somebody that is heavily invested. What do you think Ramee's role, or lawyers in general role, is for the PD? And please tell us a little bit about how much, if there is appreciation or kind of anger towards what they do. What is your opinion on that?
Oh, absolutely. I would love to go into it. My relationship with Ramee is pretty simple. It's like a love-hate relationship because I respect him for what he does. I respect him for standing on his business. I respect him for going out there and making sure that he does his job best because he helps me do my job better. Sometimes he comes to me and he brings issues and complaints that are very valid, and sometimes he's a pain in the ass. So I don't mind it. I appreciate Ramee for what he does. I think it's great having him as a lawyer because we need somebody who's competent to try to challenge us. If we're not challenged, how else will we grow?
And Sam, Leo, thank you so much for telling me those kind of words. And I have nothing but the same to say back to you, Leo. Honestly, I think we need somebody who's competent in the team of captains. I think we need somebody who is
Wait, what?
he knows how to dish it and give it. We don't want a yes man, and I don't think Leo Slacks is that type of person.
Great,
You're so kind
great.
coming from Mr. Rahman. Thank you.
Speaking of competent captains, we in preparation for the podcast, we have been polling a whole bunch of different people from around the city where we've been polling. That's how I got in contact with Mr. Ramee, and we have a whole bunch of people lined up for different episodes. I wanted to talk a little bit about Captain Ruth and why the poll numbers for Captain Ruth are very low. I know specifically we can have an episode with her eventually somewhere in the future, but I wanted to get your take on that, Captain Slacks.
Low poll numbers on Captain Ruth, huh? Not surprised. Let me tell you. Go ahead, Lee. Let me hear you. Let's hear this one.
Listen, there's always going to be a public opinion, a political trend or a social attitude towards certain captains. There's highs and lows. You don't have to like everybody. Captain Turner and Captain Ruth do a fantastic job of reflecting who we are as far as the LSPD. They have a different way of doing it. I respect them, and I love working with them.
Is there anything you can tell us? I know there's a lot of legal rope that we might have to jump over or anything like that, but over the last 2-3 weeks that stands out for you in terms of a case or an arrest or anything like that really you can talk about here on the podcast and let the people know how hard it is being Captain Slacks.
You know, the only thing I can think of is January 6th. I was there when it happened. When I saw an attack on our freedom, an attack on our democracy and election, where a group of individuals thought they were doing the right thing. But in fact, they're going against everything this country's all about. And I saw what happened. I saw the protests. And I saw somebody reach for a knife. And the first thing I thought to myself, I'm going to stop it. I got in the thick of it. And instead of that person being stabbed, I got stabbed instead.
Oh man, that I mean, a literal hero sitting right next to me, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't want to call myself my hero. I'm just doing my job.
That makes it even more great. I'll be honest with you. Were you there as a police officer or?
I was. I had to pause my academy actually to come down and help out.
Incredible.
Wait, what?
I wanted to ask a little bit about that history, kind of, if you can, Captain Slacks. We've all been through rough times. It's been a hard few years for everybody. We try what I try to do on this podcast is try to humanize the people of the city and make sure that the rest of the folk kind of can relate to you. What's the craziest thing or the scariest thing you've had to do in times of despair over the last 5 years?
I mean, we're asking a very loaded question here.
I think it's fair. It's fair to ask that. I mean, it's we've all been to hell and back, I feel.
I think the scariest thing I've experienced was today when I got 5 phone calls back to back from Ramee.
Did you pick those phone calls up, or did they go straight to voicemail?
After 4, I picked the one up.
Oh, okay. All right. So that checks out what the audience was saying.
I like to point out that going back to the first question that you asked about him not picking up phone calls. I think, well, it answers in itself, right? You know, he doesn't have to call him 5 times, and it's a shame. I know I had the same problem with officers back in the day. Let me tell you about Commissioner Sam Bass. This motherfucker. Okay, this guy, Commissioner Sam Bass. You know, he never picked up the phone. This fat fuck would always look into things. And it got to the point where I literally had to kill the guy. Like, you know what I mean? And I don't know. I really hope Leo doesn't do the same.
Yeah, that would be that would be highly.
Was that a criminal threat on live TV or a podcast?
I would like to say, disclaimer, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, and Officer Slacks, we have already talked to Captain Ruth, and anything that is said on this podcast cannot legally be used as evidence against anybody. What can be used is evidence in terms of investigating a location or a crime that is yet to be committed. But outside of that, we are. It meets the statute of limitations.
Yeah, no, I know.
I understand. It's just the vibes I'm getting is I just got called down here, and we're having a podcast, but I'm feeling a signal coming here from Ramee next to me. I just can't tell where it's coming from, but I'm
sorry. Signal, huh? Signal, really? Well, what is that? What do you mean?
Let's dive into that. What are you feeling, Captain Slacks? What's Ramee giving off right now?
Explosion in the near future in my life.
What makes you think that? I'm just a lawyer. I'm a legal man. I'm a government worker.
You guys are on the same team. That is correct. And having said that, that's exactly why I wanted the both of you down here as co-workers. The first thing I asked Mr. Ramee here is how was it working with people, especially from the PD and stuff like that? And he said one of my co-workers is Captain Leo Slacks.
Well, that's great. That's great. I mean, that's music to my ear. I love working with Ramee. Like I said, sometimes I love working with him. Sometimes he comes to me with complaints, and I just don't want to hear him, but it's necessary.
Sounds a little more like a
What?
family to me. Rami, what do you think of that? Are you guys?
It
are
sounds
you
like he
guys
hates that he
family?
loves me, you know, and I feel
Yeah.
the same. I hate that I love this guy. You know what I mean?
Is it a complicated relationship?
Uh,
Well,
go
it
ahead.
depends
I'll let
which,
you
you
answer
know,
this one.
it just depends which side of the tracks we're on. Sometimes on the same side, sometimes we're on opposite tracks. And that's just how it is, you know? That's how the cookie crumbles.
All right,
Alright.
all right, absolutely. You guys are. I want to thank you a million times for spending time with me here, and you know, I know you guys both have very busy schedules. I know the audience, the listeners of Papscast and Paps Talk are very happy that you guys are here. Captain Slacks, we can do a part 2, maybe dive more into your world, and Rami, we can do a part 2 diving more into your business and your world as well.
Of course.
Thank you both for being
Wait,
here.
no. Bring up
Ladies and
Denzel.
gentlemen, we're going to hear from one more sponsor before we hit the outro. And do you guys have anything to plug? Anything you want to tell the listeners of Papstalk?
No, not at all. Make sure you just gotta ring Ramos. That's all.
Go
Gotta ring Ramos?
LSPD.
Sorry, what was that, Captain Slacks?
I said go LSPD.
Jeez, so cringe.
OLSPD. Those, yep, those are 2 final words. Ladies and gentlemen, with that being said,
Actually.
okay.
One more thing.
Mhm.
Since we're on a podcast, and maybe I'll make a challenge here on the podcast, and that we can have it on the record. Rami, I would like to challenge you to a football game.
Oh man,
Bro, you don't want this.
Yes, I do. And then we can make a bet. You know, winners gets, you know, XYZ, and loser has to do something.
Really? A football game?
We're 1-0 so far. We beat the Italians last week.
Okay, let's run this up. How much? We want to put money, or you want to put
We
like?
could do a bet. We could do money. It's up to you.
If I win, you have to quit PD. If I lose, I have to quit. I have to lose my bar.
oh my God, high stakes.
Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I
I'm
don't
just
know if I
kidding.
can put my badge in a football
L-
game.
Listen. How about this? If I win, I get a gun license. If I lose,
There's no way.
you get a key to my house.
I can't get, like I said, I cannot do something within out of the balance of the law. I can't even give a gun license. It's a DOJ thing.
All right, how about this? Keys to the house. You get when you win, I give you a key to the house that I live in, and if you win, I get a key to the house you live in.
Okay, deal.
Okay, deal.
What do you want to play?
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Whatever you want, I'm down.
All right. The weekends are the best, so let me know when.
Oh, that's like the worst because I'm not around.
Okay. Well, we could do like a Friday. Are you around Friday?
Not Sunday, this Friday, but we could do next Friday.
Next week.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. You heard it here on the podcast. Next Friday.
Wait, is Rami
Football
not
game.
around tomorrow?
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Next Friday, football game, high stakes.
6v6 around me. That's what we play. So bring your
Of
six.
course.
Oh, I'll bring
Sounds
my
good.
six.
Sounds good.
Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Episode 1, Season 1 of Paps Talk is wrapped. Gentlemen, it's only fair that you guys use the words hit the outro to officially end this episode. So whenever you're ready, say hit the outro.
I hit the outro.
All right.
Oh, thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, no, that
Thank
was
you for
great.
being here.
That was
Thank you,
great.
thank you
You know,
so
that was
much.
definitely great for sure.
Yeah, I think over time you got to get a little bit more spicier and start, instigating and shit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. You know,
Yeah,
the more interviews I do, the better I get at it. We have some food for you guys.
Thanks.
oh,
oh,
Thank you
gosh.
so much.
God, that-
Thank you so much.
you're welcome. Yeah.
Happy early birthday.
Oh, thank you so much.
There you go.
So,
All
all right. Well, listen, Leo, thanks for coming down here, and thanks for having us, Paps. If you guys need anything
Yes,
else, let me know. Right?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
for sure.
Absolutely.
Feel free
I'll-
to ask any spicy questions in the future. I know you're gonna get the views.
Yeah.
up
You gotta
online,
instigate a little bit. You know what I mean?
Oh, we're gonna make it nice and tight. We're gonna edit it where it's nice and
All right.
clean, and or in the future we'll absolutely spice things up.
Awesome. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Officer Knight.
It's good seeing you
Yep.
guys.
You as well.
Hey, sorry about that. I thought that guy was gonna spice it up.